Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Health Thrive, your go-to spot for everything wellness, gut health, and thriving from the inside out. Today, I've got something really important to talk about, something that affects so many of us, but it's often misunderstood. IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. If you've ever dealt with IBS or have questions about what's really going on in your gut, you're not alone. And like many health conditions, there are a lot of myths out there about IBS that can confuse the situation even more. But stick with me because we're not only going to debunk some of those IBS myths, but we're also going to dive into how you can improve your gut microbial diversity, which is key to supporting a healthier, more resilient gut. Before we get into it, let's talk about why this conversation matters. Your gut is often called your second brain, and that's not just because it has its own nervous system. The health of your gut impacts everything from digestion to mood, immune function, and even how much energy you have. So, when something's off, like with IBS, it can throw a lot of things out of balance. And one of the best ways to support your gut is by promoting a diverse range of healthy microbes in there, but we'll get into that in just a bit. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can continue sharing health tips that help you thrive. For now, let's start by breaking down some of the most common myths about IBS, and trust me, there is a lot to clear up. Myth number one of the biggest misconceptions about IBS is that it's not a real condition or that it's all psychological. I'm sure if you're someone who deals with IBS, you've probably heard comments like it's just stress or you're overreacting. And while stress can definitely make IBS worse, it's not the root cause. IBS is a legitimate gastrointestinal disorder that involves a variety of symptoms, including abdominal pain, bloating, gas, diarrhea, and constipation. These symptoms can be very real and they can be incredibly uncomfortable. The truth is that while the brain gut connection plays a role, IBS is a functional disorder. This means there is a disturbance in how your gut functions, but it doesn't necessarily shows up as a structural abnormalities like ulcers or inflammation that you'd see in conditions like Crohn's disease. Your gut's nervous system can be hypersensitive, leading to the symptoms you experience. Myth number two, IBS is caused by food allergies. This one is a common one. Many people think that IBS is directly caused by food allergies, but that's not quite accurate. While certain foods can trigger IBS symptoms, they are usually sensitivities rather than true allergies. For instance, some people with IBS might have a hard time digesting FODMAPs, a group of carbs that are poorly absorbed, but that doesn't mean they are allergic to them. The confusion between food allergies and sensitivities is pretty common. True food allergies involve your immune system, where eating even a tiny amount of a certain food can cause a serious reaction. With IBS, it's more about how your gut handles food rather than your immune system attacking it. So it's not the food itself that's causing the problem, but how your gut is reacting to it. Myth number three, a restrictive diet is the only way to manage IBS. When someone is first diagnosed with IBS, they might be advised to cut out a bunch of food to manage their symptoms. The low FODMAP diet is one of the most common approaches used to identify food triggers. And while it can be incredibly helpful, it's not meant to be a permanent restrictive way of eating. The low FODMAP diet is designed to be temporary. You'll eliminate certain foods for a short period of time and then reintroduce them slowly to figure out which one might be triggering your symptoms. The ultimate goal is to eat as a wide and varied diet as possible without experiencing discomfort. In fact, restricting too many foods for too long can lead to nutrient deficiencies, can actually harm your gut health in the long run. This brings us to the idea of gut microbial diversity. What is gut microbial diversity? Okay, so we've talked about some of the common myths about IBS, but now let's shift gears and dive into why gut microbial diversity is such a game changer. When we talk about gut health, we are referring to the balance of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms living in your digestive system. These tiny creatures play an enormous role in everything from digestion to immune function to even your mental health. The more diverse your gut microbes are, the healthier your gut tends to be. A diverse gut microbiome means you have a wider variety of beneficial bacteria and other microbes working together to support your body. When your gut lacks diversity, it's more prone to issues like inflammation, poor digestion, and even conditions like IBS. Think of your gut as an ecosystem. Just like in nature, the more species or bacteria you have in the ecosystem, the more resilient and healthy it is. But when that diversity drops, harmful bacteria can start to overgrow, and that's when problems can arise. So, how do you go about improving the diversity of gut microbiomes, especially if you're dealing with IBS? Fortunately, there are several ways to support your gut and encourage a healthier microbiome. And the good news is that there are pretty simple changes that you can incorporate into your daily life. First one of the best ways to improve your gut microbial diversity is by eating a varied diet rich in plant-based foods. Plants contain fiber, which is the fuel your gut bacteria needs to thrive. And different plants contain different types of fiber, so the more variety you have in your diet, the more diverse your gut microbes will be. Aim to eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, along with whole grains, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Think of it this way. Each type of plant you eat is like inviting a new species or beneficial bacteria to live in your gut. If you're only eating a limited number of foods, you're not giving your gut the diversity it needs to stay healthy. Number two, fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso are loaded with probiotics, which are the good bacteria your gut needs to stay balanced. Think of these foods as giving your gut a boost of helpful microbes, especially if you're dealing with IBS. They can play a big role in promoting a healthier gut environment. One thing to keep in mind though is that some fermented foods contain FODMAP, so it's important to introduce them slowly if you're sensitive. But overall, fermented foods are fantastic for supporting gut diversity and keeping your digestive system in check. Number three, avoid overuse of antibiotics. Antibiotics can be life-saving, but overuse or unnecessary use can seriously disrupt your gut microbiome. Antibiotics don't just kill harmful bacteria, they wipe out the good bacteria too, which can lead to a decrease in gut diversity. If you need to take antibiotics, it's a good idea to supplement with probiotics during and after your treatment to help restore balance in your gut. Also, consider increasing your intake of fermented foods to naturally replenish your beneficial bacteria. Number four, get plenty of fiber. Fiber is a prebiotic, which means it's the food that your beneficial gut bacteria feed on. The more fiber you eat, the more fuel you're giving your gut microbes to thrive. Foods high in fiber include things like whole grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. For people with IBS, it's important to find a balance, as too much fiber, especially insoluble fiber, can sometimes trigger symptoms. However, soluble fiber from sources like oats, chia seeds, and bananas can be particularly helpful in soothing the gut while feeding your microbes. Stress has a direct impact on your gut health, especially if you have IBS. Remember, earlier when I mentioned the gut-brain connection, well, chronic stress can actually reduce the diversity of your gut bacteria. Practices like meditation, yoga, or even just going for a walk can help lower your stress levels and in turn improve the balance of your gut microbiome. Stress can also affect how your body processes food, so reducing stress can help prevent flare-ups of IBS symptoms. Your gut microbiome thrives when your body is in a more relaxed state, so focusing on stress reduction is key. If you're not drinking enough water, you might experience constipation, which can disrupt the balance of your good bacteria and make IBS symptoms worse. Number seven, try probiotic supplements, but choose wisely. If you're not getting enough probiotics from food, a supplement can be a good option. But not all probiotic supplements are created equal. Look for one that has a variety of bacterial strains, especially strains that are known to support gut health like lactobacillus or bifidobacterium. It's also worth mentioning that different people respond to different probiotics, so it may take some trial and error to find the one that works best for you. So there you have it. We've busted some of the most common myths about IBS, and hopefully you're walking away with a clearer understanding that IBS is very real and not just in your head. It's a functional disorder that can make life challenging, but it's not unsurmountable, and that the myth that you have to live in constant restriction totally debunked. In fact, the more varied and diverse your diet is, the better your gut will function, even if you do have to take certain precautions along the way. When it comes to improving gut microbial diversity, you now have some simple, actionable strategies that can help your gut flora thrive. Remember, your gut isn't just a digestive system, it's a microbial ecosystem that affects your entire body, including your immune system, mental health, and metabolism. By incorporating a variety of plant based foods, adding fermented foods, managing stress, and staying hydrated, you're giving your body the tool it needs to foster a healthier, resilient gut. And here's something to leave you with. Did you know that gut diversity can change within just a few days of altering your diet? That means the positive changes you make today can start improving your gut health and your overall well being in a matter of days, not weeks or months. So, why not start small? Try incorporating just one new fiber rich or fermented food into your diet this week and see how you feel. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video with someone who could use a little extra inspiration on their health journey. Thanks for sticking with me today on this deep dive into IBS myths and gut microbial diversity. Remember, the road to better health doesn't have to be complicated. It's about making smart, simple choices every day. Until next time, keep thriving and take care of that gut. It's working hard for you.